Hello friends, and welcome to the September planner flip. So I've decided to do a flip rather than an actual plan with me video because I've been actually, to be honest, been having a little bit of trouble staying in one position for any length of time. My back starts gets on fire. It's a whole thing. So what I decided to do was I've been kind of setting these planners up a little bit at a time, between sitting at the kitchen table to my office to standing at the desk to here, just different places. And I finally got everything pretty much where I think I'm going to keep it for the start of September. So I'm just going to do a flip real quick. And what I thought would be really fun is to go through that right there. So I did a little test sheet right here of all the things that I think are going to go absolutely brilliantly with the Autumn Glen collection. Let me put this little light back where it belongs with my camera. Okay, so I thought it would be kind of fun to go through all of those. So I'll spend a lot more time on that stuff than this because Autumn Glen is Autumn Glen. You have it, you're probably already planning with it. I've seen lots and lots of people's posts and videos of starting to use it. The Facebook group is talking about it. So I know it's already in use, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to show you my suggestions for what colors, Tombows, highlighters, inks, chalk inks if you're a stamper, would go, that I feel would go really, really well with this collection. So anyways, I'm going to start with the little planner. So you've seen me set this up recently. This is the one that I'm now using for social media and for my budgeting. So yeah, I can talk. I got this. I got this. We can do this. Okay, so we're in September. So I'm going to flip over to September. So I did do a little bit of decorating on this front page using the Autumn Glen collection. And as always, these. So these, in case you're new here, this is your first time, I pretty much live with these things. This is the Tim Holtz Ideology Small Talk, and this basically is just a bunch of like feel-good quotes in both black and white that I use throughout all of my planning sessions. Like every single one of them has some type of a quote in it because it just brings me inspiration and makes me feel happy when I'm flipping through my pages. So next up is the monthly. So the way that the social media planner works is on the monthly page, I just put a highlight of what's things that I'm doing. So like here it has, for the 5th, it has IG quote card scheduled. That means that I need to go in and schedule the rest of the Instagram quote cards for Autumn Glen, and then starts the next collection after that. So I need to go in and schedule all of those so that they're up for the rest of the month, because I only do them a couple weeks in advance in case something changes and I don't want to put that on there and I want to do something else. Like we have the PBC sale coming up on the 19th of this month, the 19, 20, and 21. And so a lot of my Instagram posts are going to be featuring new artwork and things like that are going to be available, and all the freebies and stuff like that for the PBC sale. Yeah, so I kind of put like what my idea is of when I want to have things scheduled out for videos and haul and stuff like that. And then the rest of it I will fill in as I go, and I come up with different ideas of things that I want to do. This side is basically just like a checklist of to-dos. Haven't filled it out yet, don't really need to. This makes my heart so happy. This was a new acquisition of mine with the last sale from Jane's Agenda. I love this thing, and I keep all the little goodies in here that I'm going to be using inside of here, like the dots and page flags, some artwork. This stuff right here is the perfect size for this. So I have, this is the freebie from last month, and I have several of these left over because I made way too many of them. And so I have plenty of those to kind of use throughout the month. However, there's a really good chance that since I ran out of Autumn Glen and I don't want to reprint anything. I have so many gorgeous autumn kits that I want to use from other companies that this is probably what you see laid out today is probably all I'm going to be using for Autumn Glen. And then I'll start using some of my other beautiful artwork from like Simply Gilded, not Simply Gilded. Why did I say Simply Gilded? I have Simply Gilded on the brain because I was using this. Where is it? This. Because I use these to hold all my stuff in, and these are Simply Gilded pouches. So I have it stuck in my head because I just had to write it down on a post that I made. Oh, so anyway, totally off track. Anyway, I have what do I got up here? I've got so many up here, but yeah, Can't wait to use this one. You know, I'm going to be using the heck out of that. So there's more chances that I'm going to be using a lot more of other artwork. So where I've done Autumn Glen is pretty much the end of the Autumn Glen. So this is the first week. This is the one that we're in right now. And I've kind of put some of the things in here that I plan on doing, some under other. I made these into columns. So a blank one of this looks like this. It says from Jane's, no, this is from Cloth and Paper. It's just blank. It gives you Monday through Sunday, and then I put the dates under it using the dates that came in the Autumn Glen. And then up here, I just kind of make it into the columns. And so I decided to do Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and other. Other can mean if I want to throw up a TikTok video, if I want to throw some stuff up on Pinterest, things like that, or just a note that I have for that day. So for Tuesday was a photo session with the Winter Story vellum and cards that came in. So I put that there just to remind myself that I need to do that. So it's all stuff that is social media based, but I kind of put it in here, and that's it. That's the whole social media planner. And that's so much easier than what I was doing before. What I was doing before was way overthinking. And then I have the bill tracker in the back. And then for the bill tracker, I'm not going to throw my business up there, but for the bill tracker, I'm using mostly just the dots. So I use the dots, some of the time strip stuff, which I took out of here, and I added it to the big planner because I use the time strips way more in the business planner than I do in here, but I just grab them from the business planner when I'm using them in here, and I put them, let me show you on a blank one. Here's a December one. So I'll put like the dots here and then check them off as I do them. I'd like to just to color coordinate because I think, you know, it looks fun and I like to do it. And then I'll put like some sort of little decoration here, maybe a washi strip right here, just to give it some sort of fun looking stuff. But that's pretty much it. The bill stuff really isn't very decorated because they're tiny, not a lot of room to write, which I'm doing better at figuring out how to write small and not have my writing take up a ton of space. But because you can see here, these are really small, really tiny little areas to write in. And I do have a new pen that I will show you in a minute that is really good for this. I mean, it writes super small, and I'll show you here. And I used it in this one. So for this ink and this pen, I'm using the Jinhao. This came in the Cloth and Paper. This is a very inexpensive pen that you can find. I think they have some still on the Cloth and Paper website, but you can also get these off of Amazon. They're like anywhere from $9 to $12, and it's got an extra fine nib. So it writes small enough for me to fit in these tiny little places. And the ink that I'm using is actually the Cloth and Paper Espresso, which I think goes really well with it. So I have it written down here if you want this information. So these are some of the ones from September, but also I'm using a lot of the August because the August colors, even though they were very bright and cheery, they also kind of merge very nicely into Autumn Glen. So I kept this side here for you to see because a lot of these are ones that I will be using, and then this is the September. So this is the Jinhao Fine Point X750 FP, sorry, Jinhao FP X750 Extra Fine, and I'm using the Espresso ink from Cloth and Paper. So it's really hard to tell. It looks almost black, but that is the espresso ink, which is just an absolutely fantastic, not black ink, but pretty close to black ink. So, and the pen being an extra fine works really, really well in here, size-wise. And you can see here that there's no bleed through at all. Like you can't see ghosting, bleed through, nothing with this pen. So it's a really good one to use in small spaces. So anyway, that being said, I think we are done peeking at this planner. So I will put this one aside and move on to the next one. So business planner. Oh, I gotta show you this one. This is where the majority of my stuff ends up, is in here. So let's pop up to the very beginning. I did make a mistake, and I'm mad at myself, but I'm not, because I did order the extra ones of these. So I will replace this one. I have another one exactly like it that is sitting in the little cabinet next to me. So I will replace it, but I decorated it like a ding dong. I didn't mean to. I just got excited because I was doing this side and did not realize that this was this page. And I want to keep these so that I can transfer them into the 2026 planner and have it all the way through. So I will replace this one. Kind of sad, but it came out really cute. I think I really like the way it looks, but it is going to be plain. And what I had planned originally to do is to take the vellum and just cut the vellum to fit here, which I actually did here. This is what I meant to do here, but not attach it. I was going to use the removable tape on it and just kind of secure it so that it didn't go anywhere, and then take it off at the end of the month. So that way I can keep this here and not have it clash with anything that I put in here for next September. So I did do it here, but I meant to do it here. So anyway, then you've got the goals page, which is basically just reminding me of all the things that I need to do, the bill dates, things like that. Then you have the monthly, which I never use this sidebar. So it's always like a fabulous place for me to use the washi strips. So the whole washi pages also come, let me see if I have one right here so I can show you. Yeah, I can show you the one from next month. Because I actually have, here's one from the Bewitched Brew. So this one's a little bit shorter than the ones that come in the kit itself. The ones that come in the kit are the full 7-inch long ones, but this gives you an idea of like what you can do with it is either bring it down a little bit and then put something else here, or use the ones actually that are in the kit, or these come in the functional, so you have a bunch of different options. But how stinking cute is that? I can't wait to use this one. That one is definitely going in October. My goodness. So anyway, that's what that is. So that's just washi paper that I cut into a strip that fits in here, and then I put it in here. And then this is all stuff that you're used to seeing. But basically this is the overview for my business planner, and it gives me all the things that I need to know about, and a few things that aren't business related that are in here but will take my time away from the business. So I put them in here, like MRI stuff happening when I'm scheduled to go back to work, then I would be working. So I have to put it in here. And then I put my paydays, because I know payday weekends are the weekends where I work these days. You know what I mean? So it's like there are business and non-business things, but they all kind of relate to it because I need time to run the business around the time that I use to do family stuff or home stuff or bill stuff, you know, that kind of stuff. So anyway, here's the divider. I took a big chunk, which I kind of was not wanting to do, but wanting to do, only because I just love it and I did not want to cut it. But I ended up cutting it, attaching it to the back of this, and it will stay here for at least a few months, because I always like to keep, I'll show you here, I do keep the previous month in here, and then I will pull out the weekly stuff. So, because I don't need to see the weekly stuff. But then we're going to flip over, and I did it again. So this one, however, is attached with double-sided tape so that I can reuse this if I want to. It's not attached permanently to this, so I can take it off any old time that I want to, and I can cut it up and use it later if I decide I want to. But this is another giant piece of the vellum, which I love. This is cloth and paper. And then started setting up. So today is Wednesday night at 7 p.m. So most of this stuff is already done, obviously, for the week, but I just want to show you here. I have this, which says this week at the top, and it has the time strips that I was talking about that I use in the business plan. In the social media planner. So when I need these, I just come in here and I grab them. And then I also have, these are from cloth and paper, and I have them stuck to this as well. So if I have notes that I need to throw down, I can just slap one in here and I've got my notes. Then I've kind of pre-planned some of the stuff for the rest of the week, just so that things that I know are happening and that I need to have in my planner so that I'm ready for it. And then I set up, these are the blank ones. And again, I just put stuff in here. Now these come out. So if I want to move that, like say that appointment gets changed to a different time, it's not written in here permanently, and I can move it. Return to work, I can move it because I don't know if that's the actual date that they're going to send me back or not. So it's, do I leave it there? Do I not leave it there? If it doesn't end up happening, I can just pull it out and it's not permanently here on this week. So these are right here. So these are cloth and paper. I keep them in here, and you guys are familiar with this. I've showed it to you a few times, but I've got my Cocoa Fusion, are the tiny little ones right here that you just pull them. So they just sit like this, and you pull them out, and then you place them down, and you can write on them. And the pen that I use to write on all of these is this one. So you can see which one I use. It is the Uni Pin oil-based ink marking pen, and this one I actually got in London. So I picked that one up while I was over there because I realized that I didn't have one, and we went into many, many, many art stores while we were there, and planner stores and pen stores, and so I grabbed those while I was there. But I have all of my page flags are in here. This is the new set, but this really doesn't go with this. It is actually in here for this. So I'm probably not going to use these this month because they don't really go. Like I said, there's not too much in the way of this color blue in here, although there is this, but that is a different kind of a blue. And so I won't use these, but look at, there's these and the lines. So I decided to keep it in a little pocket that I stuck back here. And then I don't want it flapping around, so I just stick it inside there. So I have that in here. I've got some square ones. I've got, these were from Infinite Lotus. These are latte. They go with anything at all. So, and these were also from Infinite Lotus. So this is always in here, but I just pull it out and put it off to the side when I'm planning so that it's not in my way. And I usually have a clip on the end of this to keep them from doing that when I pull it in and out. But I don't know where I put the clip. It was the chocolate brown clip, and now I'm not sure where it is. So I'm going to have to go on a hunt for the chocolate brown clip, but they look like, well, I don't even think I have it here. I don't even have them, but they're the tiny ones that are shaped like a half moon. And yeah, we got them from Cloth and Paper. So usually that's up there. Just don't know what I did with it. Interesting. Okay. So anyway, so this is how it's set up. And here's sale information. I did the whole month, like I always do in the business planner. I don't like to fuss around in the business planner. I like to make sure that the whole month is ready to go. So that way I can just open it, jot down everything that I need to do for the day or anything that's coming up in the week. And then that way it's here and I don't have to fuss around with decorating. This one, on the other hand, is a whole different story. So we'll get to that one in just a second. So that is everything. Oh, it's right here. I put it on this one instead. Well, I'll have to grab another one because I have more. There was a whole set of these that came in one of the Cloth and Paper sub boxes. I think there was 3 of them, 3 different colors, and one of them is this like really pretty green. And then this one, and then I think a lighter one. I'll grab another one to put on the end of this. So then I'll have 2 of them in here, but it's fine. I just wanted to make sure that these, because I use them so often, you can see I always mark out time for things that I need to be doing. And so that way I know, okay, from this time to this time, I am off limits. There's nothing I can't, like on Tuesday, it was the longest day of my life of packing orders and trying to unmess up what I did with, so funny story. I thought, oh, well, let's just create a code for my subscribers for the subscriptions so that they can use it to do free shipping with their subscriptions. So it worked out great. People ordered, lots of people did it. I had a stack of stuff to do, got everything ready to go, did it, went and got all of the almost $700 worth of postage for all of that stuff, and then realized that I double, like the postage came out twice for a lot of them. So I have to go back and unscrew all of that after all the subscriptions are out. But anyway, this turned out to be the longest day of my life. I just wanted to complain. I love, love, love my shop. I love my customers. I love the subscription. Just sometimes things don't always go exactly as planned, best laid plans and all that. And yeah, when bad things happen, you need to block a lot of time to deal with it. I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning fixing this mess, and it's still not fixed. It's still not fixed. So, and my printer broke. So I ordered one here, and thankfully it came the next day. So it is here in a box and ready to get put together so that I can get back to working on what I need to get working on. So anyway, that is everything that I have in the business planner using the Autumn Glen. And then I'm going to leave this open because the next, let me get all the colors there. Let's go to a pretty page. And I'm going to go through all the things that I think are going to look, let's go to this one right here, that I think are going to look fantastic with this kit. So to start with, pen wise, I showed you the Jinhao already, and this has the espresso ink. It's a great not black ink, and this Jinhao pen is an extra fine, so it is great for writing in tiny places. This is the one I'm using in the social media planner. Then, if you're not a fountain pen person, but you want to use colored inks, one of my favorite pens is this one here. So the Energel, and this is a Pentel Energel, and this is a 0.7, and this is in a brown ink right here. So you can see that beautiful brown ink, which obviously is going to go fantastic with this artwork right here. So if you're looking for a brown ink pen that you want to kind of match to this, this is a great colored pen to go with this kit. We also have a couple of other pens over here that I'm going to show you. Where is it? Okay, there's this one here, which, yes. So this is also a Jinhao. Very inexpensive if you want a starter pen that is one of the retractables. This is the one to grab, and look at the color. Tell me this color pen itself isn't just absolute fantastic. But you know what will be even better? Hold on one second. I'm going to grab my swatch book so you can see this ink. Hold on. I wanted to test out all of my inks on paper that I know I'm going to be utilizing, or on thinner paper. And so I did swatch out not every single one of them, but most of my inks inside of an old Aurastel. And this ink that is in this pen right now is this one right here, just so you can see how gorgeous that color is and what it's called. So it's the Monteverde Joy Sepia, and it's from the Emotions collection, and that is the one that is currently housed in this pen. And it is beautiful, beautiful color to go with any fall or coffee themed kit that you can possibly imagine. This ink is it. So I bought a full bottle, not a sample, got the whole thing, and I am in love with it. Now, I did write with it. That is what I'm using right here, using my new Jinhao retractable with the Joy Sepia ink this week. This is what it looks like. Still working on writing smaller. So the Jinhao is, I believe, a fine nib, but the Jinhao's fine nib, I would say, is pretty close to other medium nibs. It is a little bit thicker. You can see here the extra fine is nice. It's very, very fine, but the fine, it just gets a little fat. And I don't know if it's just a property of the retractable one, or so I'm going to look and see if they have a Jinhao, an extra fine, the retractable one, and pick it up and see if there's a big difference. They have tons of colors of this exact pen right here, and I am obsessed with this pen, that I will most likely just pick up a different color. Obviously don't need another one of this one, but how beautiful. It's just so stunningly beautiful. But anyway, that's that pen right there with that ink. So you know what I'm using right there, and it's right here, all that information. Then there's also another honorable mention if you like smaller, because this is a 0.7. The Sarasa Clip 0.5 in like this golden brown color is a very pretty color that also is a great one to go with this particular artwork. I think it pairs with it beautifully. So there is that one as well. As always, I'm going to have this one, which is my this is my Sailor, and I actually, so here's the Sailor. It's a fine, and I have terracotta ink in it, and it might not be as easy to see. Where did I put it? It might not be as easy to see here as it is here. So let's pull out the terracotta ink. Look at that. Oh gosh, that is so beautiful. That's the walnut ink. Autumn, oh, here it is. Here's the terracotta ink. So you can see what that looks like all swatched out. It's a beautiful, beautiful ink, but in an extra fine nib, which is, or a fine Sailor nib, which is like an extra fine in on most other pens, because Sailors, I find that Sailors nibs are much smaller than some of the other popular brands that I've been using lately. So this one has a much finer nib than I'm used to. You don't pick up all the beautiful extra details in that terracotta ink, but you definitely would if you put this ink into a medium, or in the Jinhao, or in, one of the other like broader nibs. You're going to definitely see all of those characteristics come out, but you don't see it as much in here. But it's still a beautiful ink, and it still pairs beautifully with this kit. So let's flip back over here so you can see these colors again. Actually, let's try another page. You've seen this one long enough. Okay, how about this one? Next up is mild liners. So I have a few that I picked up. I picked out, shouldn't picked up, I have a million of them. So I have here, this one is the gold, and it looks different in person. Here's the gold, which I thought was a nice, if you look here at any of the lights or the lighting or any of that kind of stuff, this is a beautiful match to a lot of the artwork that is in this particular kit. We have that one. We also have the copper, which is over here. Another beautiful ink that goes perfectly with like the books, and there's just a lot of stuff in here. The leaves, look how pretty that is next to the leaves. So the copper is a great choice. I kept the ones from last month in here, that is the olive, because I feel like that green in the artwork, the greenery, is a lot of it has quite a bit of this olive color in it, and you can kind of see just by looking at it. If you put it next to, I know it's hard to see from way down there, but you'll know if you have the kit. So there's that. And then the last one that I have is the, wait, I didn't put this one in there, did I? Why didn't I put this one on here? Apricot? Oh, I know why. This was last month. I'm sorry. Let me put it back. I was using it for something else. Okay. So that's it for the mild liners. That's what I came up with for the mild liners. Now I do have a couple of extra things that I like to use, and one of them is the Monet colors. This is the Monet colors, and I just thought that was a really pretty kind of gray green. That was a nice, kind of went pretty well with some of the backdrops. I don't know how well you can see it, but this color is featured in a lot of different places in this artwork, and I thought it would be a nice muted gray green color that would go really well with this. So I got that one in there, and unfortunately I don't know the colors, but I'll put it like this so you can see that. And if you can find Monet colors, you might be able to figure out what color that is and grab it if you really want it from any of the places that carry them. But that might actually have some information on it, because nothing else does. It just says Monet colors and that's it. It doesn't give you anything else. It came in a set, so I can't even like help you there, but it is a pretty gray green. Then the Marus, you know, I bought the whole set of the Marus. So you have the peacock right here, which would be a great dot pen, for obvious reasons. In a lot of this, there is these blues. So I picked out the peacock one that I thought was pretty, because it's kind of like a grayish blue color, and it's not quite so in your face. I don't like super bright colors in the fall. I mean, I don't mind them in the artwork like this, but I don't want like all of my surrounding stuff. I want the artwork to show the color, not what I'm writing with so much. So I kind of tend to go more towards like the muted colors. And then the camel is the closest thing in the dot marker to browns, and it does go. I mean, it looks a little bit peachy to me, but, and I probably won't use this one. If I'm going to use a dot marker, it's most likely going to be the peacock one, but just in case, you know, just in case you like that. Then the last two markers are the Tombows. So for this one, I picked Tombow 933, the orange, which there's orange obviously everywhere you look in this kit, and in some places it is pretty damn bright. So here's a nice bright orange. I won't use this very often, but I might do a little highlight here, a little highlight there, for like if I'm going to put down like a to-do or an important or something like that. I might use this underneath one of my script stickers, but I probably won't use this too much because it's a little bit too bright for me. But I thought if you like that, there you go. That is like a perfect color. And then brown is definitely up my alley. This is the one that I will use, and it is right here. So this is Tombow 977, and this is a nice golden brown, pretty muted. It's a very pretty color, and it goes obviously very well with any autumn kits. So there's that one. And then this is the pen that I use mostly in my Wonderland 222. And this one is my Pilot pen, my ride or die, the one that I use to write every single thing that I do inside of my Wonderland 222, which we'll go through in just a second. But this actually has the Smoke Noir ink in it, which I do have it. No, I don't have it. I don't have it No, I don't have it on here. So it comes out very, let me zoom you in and you can see how this looks. Let's see what we can do here. So this is it's called Smoke Noir. And what happens is it comes out very black, but it dries down to a very, see it's happening right now. You can see it doing it right in front of your eyes. As it dries down, it turns into this beautiful light smoky color that is not in your face dark black. It is not too gray. It is kind of somewhere in that beautiful middle space that I absolutely adore. So that ink, not only is it my ride or die ink that I use 99% of the time, because most of the time I'm writing in my Wonderland 222. It is also one that I just reordered another bottle because I'm halfway through the bottle that I have, and I have this fear that it's going to go away. So it's a Monteverde pen, Monteverde ink, Smoke Noir, easy to find, still available online. But if you like that, yeah, that is my ride or die one that I use for everything. And then the last thing I think to show you are these. So if you're a stamper and you like to stamp in your planners, and we've gone over this a couple of times now, but the best inks to stamp with in your planners when you don't want bleed through or a lot of ghosting are the Versa Magic, and these are all chalk inks. So any of the chalk inks, they do take a little bit of time to dry. You stamp out what you're going to stamp, go do whatever you're going to do, and then come back and write, and you're good to go. And there's very, very, very little ghosting. And these are the 4 colors that I chose that I thought went really well with this kit. So you've got Pumpkin Spice, Niagara Mist, Sahara Sand, and Hint of Pesto. I think those 4 colors right there alone will take care of the entire fall. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is going to go with most fall kits, but that's that right there. So that, my friends, is everything that I went through and swatched out and played with to try to figure out what I thought were going to be the best colors, pens, inks, highlighters, fountain pens that you could use with the Autumn Glen, or really any fall kits that you're going to be using this year. So that's the end of that part. Now I'll go through the Wonderland 222 real quick, and I will show you what I did in here. Definitely not nearly as much as I usually do. So this is so you have your quarterlies. So this is quarter 2, this is quarter 3, and I have August is finished, here is September, and it's just like a little overview of the month. So this is basically telling me what I'm working on this month and the sale that I'm in for this month. So that's that one. Then I did set up my habit tracker. So this is the habit tracker, and the marker that I used for this one was the pumpkin one, the orange one. And as you can see, when I used it in here, I realized, holy crap, that's bright. That's really bright. And why I know I won't use it anywhere else. This is just, one of those pages where it doesn't really, it's not my main planning thing. This is just where I keep track of stuff like office hours worked. That's kind of the most important things is brushing the puppy's teeth. May seem like a trivial thing, but if you're a dog owner, this will save you thousands and thousands of dollars later on when they develop teeth problems, which they will if you don't brush them. And we found that out with Bella. Bella just turned 8 years old, and she had to have dental surgery where they had to take several teeth out. In order to do that, they have to put your dog under, intubate them. It is thousands of dollars to do, and all of that is usually, unless there's some kind of a genetic defect, is usually easily cared for by brushing their teeth. So Sophie and Bella, and this is what we look like when we're trying to brush their teeth. So this one is a little emoji from Once More with Love, and that right there is my husband's face when he's like trying to put poor Bella in a headlock and brush her teeth, because that's, she's 8 years old and she's like, I'm not having it. Anyway, so this is a really good place for me to just kind of track out everything that I'm doing. So that's what that is. Then when you flip ahead, so for the month of September, I did use some Cocoa Daisy in the actual setup part of it, just because, the Cocoa Daisy it's just been sitting. And so rather than allow it to sit, I decided to use it at least for the monthly setup and the goals page, which I haven't filled out yet. Some of the monthly stuff is already done, to what I actually used very little left. So I went through my stash of Autumn Glen, which I only give myself basically like the misprint, the miscut stuff, because I can theoretically print out however many I want for myself if I want to do that. But to save myself paper and to save myself a little bit of money, I just take the misprints, not misprints, the miscuts. So mine look a little funky. Yours hopefully do not. Where the white isn't always exactly around it, because that's what this is. And then this is all I had left. I basically have just a tiny little bit left, enough to do my personal pocket planner, the one that I take in I call it my purse planner. I have enough to do a couple pages in that, and that is it. I'm completely out. So for the rest of the month, I'm going to be using all of my beautiful Graceful Muse, maybe even, probably even use some of this because it's been a minute since I used any of my sterling ink. I might use some sterling ink. I've got stuff coming from, oh, I have the new one from Pretty Pink Co. So I've got a lot. I've got a lot of stuff to use both for the weeklies and for the dailies. So you can see here, that's it. The first and the second, that's all I have in here. The rest of it is blank. So for the whole month, my Wonderland 222 is going to be everything but Autumn Glen because I used all of my pieces, and yeah, I'm good. I mean, I've got plenty of other fall kits that I want to use, and so yeah, that's where we're at. And I'm a little behind on I'm a little bit behind, so I got to get caught up in this one. But anyway, that's it. That's everything that we have. So I'm going to leave that right there for a second, bring all these guys in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments below if this was helpful. I love, love, love when people do this, when they do these videos and they show me swatching, they show me color choices, they show me all of the good things. And a lot of times I find things that I didn't know I needed or didn't know I wanted until I saw it, because, that's me. But anyway, let me know down in the comments below if this is something you found helpful, if there's any other suggestions that you have for videos like this. I would like to do more of them this way and less plan with me's, because the plan with me's, like I said, they take up so much time and so much editing, and I just don't have a lot of it, and it requires me to stand still for too long. So anyway, that's all I have for you now. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really, really appreciate you, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.